But first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Simon Fletcher. For those of you who I have not met, hello. And I hope it won't be the last time we meet. I'm Director Europe at the UIC. So this is my boss, so I've got to behave myself. And we will be taking you through this next session before lunch and then the session after lunch as well. We know that railways are the greenest form of land transportation. And of course, we know that that's where we would like it to stay. Because it is it's a USP for the railways. And exploring the challenges ahead in driving forward this agenda is what we're going to go run through within this next session and the session afterwards related to digitization as well. So we've got a number of really distinguished speakers. One of the elements that they're going to explore is how railways should be evolving post-pandemic, because one day we will not have to sit here with masks on and worry about all of the cleanliness and what have you. Perhaps it won't be the same as it was, but the new normal will be something slightly different. But in fact, developing digital and technological solutions is the theme of this session. And how we can take us, or how we can evolve in the short period coming. Taking us through that, then, as I said, is four very distinguished speakers. The first of whom is François Davenne. You've already met him, but François is the Director General at the UIC and a telecoms engineer by profession, but somebody who's been around railways. And we heard the minister earlier speaking about OTIF. François was the Secretary-General at OTIF before he came to the UIC, so he knows exactly what OTIF is all about and the role that OTIF as well. But François is going to talk to us about the shaping the future of railways. François, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you very much for giving me the floor. As we are a little bit late, I will try to do that in 15 minutes and not 20. So tell me if I'm too long. Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to say that for railways, we really need to deliver a vision because, as I said in my first speech, we are part of the solution for the future model of transport. Well, it has been said repeatedly that railway is the backbone of mobility, but today, to say the truth, we are not the backbone of mobility. Road is the backbone of mobility, that's obvious. We are not. In some countries, we are close to be for freight, for example. Well, indeed, in the US or in Russia and perhaps in China, indeed, for freight, rail is the backbone of mobility, but by no means it's true in Europe. So we have to become the backbone of mobility, and for that we have to deliver a vision and to deliver a path for implementing this vision. And we have, as I said, to change the behavior, to change the way people are thinking about transport. We have, in a nutshell, to make modal shift desirable, and I will try to show how we can try, at least, to deliver this vision. Well, as I said before, what is important from my point of view to understand is that we are networks, and we are isolated networks. I think individually in Germany, in Slovenia, and in France, we have excellent networks with good interconnection nationally. But if we want to do a European network or an international network with railways, that's difficult because we don't have the habit to cooperate together. And well, the European Eurorail with the Trans-European Express shows that. You see that we have been obliged to take coaches that are quite ancient coaches that are corresponding to the RIV regulation, old regulations that allowed interconnection of the different coaches. So we have to promote this network vision and to interconnect together. And as we said, both Alberto, I, and also Carlo, there is game changers. And those game changers are basically digitalization as a whole, because digitalization will make possible to interconnect things that were very difficult to interconnect before. I will come back to that, but for the ticketing and also for the digital railway platform, what have we to do to make the rail freight network interconnected, there are digital tools. What we need to do is to implement them and to have a common standard and common specifications. And I think we are able to deliver that. There is 5G, because if we want to deliver this digitalization, we need a telecom backbone, because there will be IoT, there will be real-time information about the state of the traffic and the infrastructure. And for that, I don't know if you know the throughput of GSMR. Do you know? 32 kilobits per second. So just compare with your usual box or your mobile phone, it's many megabytes. Huh? So now we are bound with a system, GSMR, that has only 32 kilobits per second. So we need to evolve, and 5G is made for that. And we are working inside UIC for delivering FRMCS, Future Rail Mobile Communication System. With 5G, we are active in the telecommunication normalization bodies to be sure that it will be perfectly compatible and that we will deliver this backbone. Well, there is obviously automation because it will allow to have better interconnection and also to improve the throughput on the existing lines. Artificial intelligence, because we will have to rely on huge amount of data, and only artificial intelligence will make the treatment of this huge amount of data feasible for our railway. And, well, the result of all of that is indeed that we will have more cyber threat, because simply speaking, we will have IP interconnection everywhere, and we all know that IP interconnection are very vulnerable to threat. So we need to have this vision since inception, and that is new, that we will have a cybersecurity question. So we need to accelerate the cycle of innovation, and I think that's what Europe's rail is about in Europe. We need to accelerate this cycle. In UIC, we're also trying to better interconnect our different regions and to use the knowledge of our different regions to accelerate this cycle, because we have to deliver in the next 10 years. I think what I said before is quite important. There is no prospect that, for instance, the automotive industry will be able to deliver something in the next 10 or 15 years that will be as efficient as railway in terms of low emissions. So we are part of the solution for the next 15 years. But for that, we need to increase the capacity. We need to increase our capacity to attract customers. So, well, we have been speaking about mobility as a service, and I will come back to that. We have been speaking about rail freight platform. I think all of that we have to deliver in the next 10 years. I will finish this section about this question of developing a new paradigm. We need to make understand to our fellow citizens, to our customer, that we are part of the solution, that we need to renew the transport paradigm. We need to make clear that, as I said before, we are now living in a non-linear environment. We don't really know how the climate will evolve. We have seen that this summer with unpredicted events, and we will see those unpredicted events more and more often. We need to have resilience as a must. And resilience will be more and more an issue because we will be confronted to phenomena that we are not used to. So that means that our system, our ability to predict, our ability to retrieve the information will have to make a quantum leap. We have then 10 years to make our system smart. And we have to select what are the transformational projects, meaning what are the projects that will have the maximum effect, not in 20 years, not in 30 years, but in the next 10 years. And I think what is very positive is, as a sector, and also in conjunction with other sectors like public transport, like aviation also, we are speaking together. We are network activities, and as we are network activity, we are vulnerable. So we need to collaborate together to see how we can cope with all those questions. So in UIC, we are developing a narrative for rail for the next COP26. That means that we now have to be a little bit more bold and not to say, well, we are eco-friendly, well, everybody knows that, but to explain precisely how we can make a difference. So that's what we are developing. We are also preparing for our centenary a symposium that will be on the 13th of November this year, where we will try to gather all our region, or from Europe to Asia, to try to say what will be railway in 5, 10, and 15 years. What are the concrete solutions that we can prepare, and indeed how to select those transformational projects. I will not say which project, I already said a few ones, but in order to be a little bit concrete, I would like to insist a little bit about the complementarity between UIC approach and what is developing within Europe's rail agent undertaking. As you know, UIC is now a member of the system pillar of the ERGU, so we are contributing with all our members. And, well, I would dare to say that we are sharing, I think, the same system vision with ERGU. And I think that's very important that this system vision will be at the heart of everything that we are doing.